Hey everybody, welcome back to NSB Custom Cars. On this episode, got to put a clutch fan on my Cummins. So this will be a quick short video. There's a hard way to do it and an easy way to do it. I'm going to do it the easy way. Let's get started. So this fan, I mean look, it's got nothing to it. I mean it just spins really easy sitting here. Truck hasn't been run in a while. And this new clutch fan, I mean, I can barely turn it. I mean, that's tight compared to that other. So I know, you would think that when you first start one up, it's cold, it should be kind of loose and not run. It seems like every clutch fan I put on, you hear the fan, woo, it comes on, then it kind of lightens up. But, that little spring, it feels the heat on the radiator. The radiator gets hot, the spring tightens the unit down, should make this grab even tighter and hang on so it'll cool more. To me, it seems like they all work backwards. It seems like they start out really, because when you first start them up, you hear that fan blowing and then they quieten down after they get warm. I don't know, it's kind of weird how that works. That one feels tight, cold, this one's cold, and man, I could just spin it like it was nothing. So that one's not working right. We'll see if it's just from when you first start them up, after a while the clutches get looser on it or something, but that one I don't like. So let's get it off. So just so you know, to take this off, it pretty much just screws off the pulley with the threads. This is reverse thread, so righty-tighty ain't the way this one goes, so it's going to be right loose on this one. I do have a special wrench that fits these. I actually made this wrench. I mean, I took a wrench and made this gap to fit it. And with the belt and everything on, I'm a little short. I had to get me something to stand on here. I'll come over. And I afraid it's going to do that. Sometimes, that belt just wants to turn the motor over. So, next step is to hold that big pulley from spinning. Had to break out the big boys. For some reason, I've never had much problem. These usually bump right off, but this one here is pretty tight for some reason. There we go. She come loose then. I'm not taking this out. I'm not taking my water out. Taking the shroud out. I'm just taking the 4 bolts that hold the fan to the clutch. Leave the fan in. Get it around this hose. Actually, let me bring it over here and take it out. Then I'll put it back in the way I just took it out. I'm not taking all that part. I'm going to have to ignore the fan and I turn it on. It's too hot. So it's got a little bit of noise. These are the bolts that come with the new bolts versus the old bolt. The old bolt's a lot longer and got a washer with it. I'm using the old bolt back. I screwed the clutch fan on so it's holding it for me. So now all I got to do is line the fan up, hold it by hand, get my bolt started. went 180 to the other side to get this started. That's a whole lot faster than taking all this shroud out. Just be careful when you do this, not to let the fan get into your radiator too much, because it is aluminum and it will poke a hole in it. So my suggestion, we take these belts on the fan loose, at least get them loose by hand so you can do them by hand, then loosen the clutch fan. Before you screw it all the way off, remove the fan, and then you can just screw the rest out instead of having to, that way it's not getting into the radiator. These are just 1/2-inch bolts on the fan to the clutch. Once again, I kind of snug it down on one side, go 180 and do the other side. I'm not tightening just yet. I'm getting them all snug and then go around and tighten. And I'll get my ratchet wrench to go a little faster. The old ratchet wrench. Yeah, a lot better. Now we're going to go in reverse. Tighten it down. We're done. That took all about 5 minutes and didn't take the shroud out, take all of this out to do that. That's a lot tighter now to move. That thing's blowing really nice. I can feel it. It wasn't doing that before. That's right. So as I rev it up, you can really hear that fan. I still think that's kind of backwards. You shouldn't hear the fan when it's cold. You think when it gets hot that it would tighten the fan down, but I don't know how these things work. We'll find out. Need to change the oil, but finding Rotella right now is like finding hen's teeth. Another tip on oil, SAE 30 weight. There ain't no such thing as 10W40 for me. I don't run no variable weight. I always run straight 30 weight. I've ran it in everything I own, from lawn mowers, every vehicle I've ever owned. Bought a brand new truck, 1987, that's all it ever had in it. Had 400,000 miles. Changed the oil every 10,000 miles, running nothing but SAE, straight 30 weight. Started out using Valvoline. The last couple of years I owned it, I went to house brand, Advanced or AutoZone oil, as long as it was SAE 30. I did tear that motor down a couple times because after a couple 100,000, 150,000 miles, the rear main seal would start leaking. Took the motor apart, looked brand new. All I do is put new seals, bearings and rings in it, put it back together. Like I said, 400,000 miles on it.